So these are the woods behind my house. So I set this out as a 3-day project, with the time frame in mind being day 1 to clear out, day 2 to build everything, and day 3 to finish things up and add the little details. Day 1 was all about picking the actual spot and then clearing it out, designating spaces for the things I actually wanted to build, and raking for hours. So this is the place I've decided on. There's a bit of a clearing here and it's not too far from the main entrance of the woods, so it won't take long to actually get here and it won't be too tiring carrying stuff in and out. I grabbed a rake. I'm gonna put some gloves on. The pants and the gloves are because I'm insanely allergic to poison ivy. Yeah, I still got poison ivy. And I'm gonna get to work. There was so much underbrush, leaves, pine needles, roots that I had to cut or dig out. With stuff like this, I can just replant this somewhere else, so the plant is not actually dying, I'm just uprooting it. Just a ton of manual work to get the space to a place where you could walk freely. I kept in mind that there were a few specific things that I wanted to build and have areas for. I wanted a little garden, an area for art with an easel, a sitting area. I wanted to use 2 specific trees for a shelf, and then also possibly a desk or table space. Another thing I wanted to pay attention to was the entrance. I wanted it to be super inviting and magical looking, almost Bridge to Terabithia-esque without the bridge, if that makes any sense. These are the 2 trees that you enter in between, and there's a tree there and the walkway kind of goes this way. So I'm thinking if I put some sort of stick or railing there, I can then hang vines from here to there to kind of form a very visual entrance upon walking in, and then I'm going to clear up a little bit more in between and put some stepping stones. So something I definitely put some time into was digging up different roots and vines to connect from a tree in the front to the 2 main trees that you entered through, so there was kind of little railings going in. After I had the space where I knew things were going and the floor was pretty much cleared out, I began building. Like I said, I wanted to make a garden, a sitting space, some shelves, possibly an area to hang some things, a table, and a little art place with an easel. The first thing I got started on was the easel, the one behind me. This is the little area that I want to put it, and I took some wood that I found in my shed as well as a metal pole I had discovered on the ground while raking. When raking yesterday, I hit something metal and discovered that it was one of these green posts that goes to some of the fencing out in the woods. So I'm actually going to use this as the back of my easel and kind of TP'd them together at the top with some vines to connect them and nailed some areas in as well. With the easel done, I'm going to take a quick lunch break, and then when I come back, I'm going to build the garden, hang up the shelves, and figure out the seating situation and some of the bordering, which I will explain later, so I'll see you then. For the garden, I found a bunch of pieces of wood that had been discarded in the woods previously and kind of mapped out a little zone. Alright, right after the 2 beginning trees, I have the wood pile, and then there's this little kind of half circle area, and that's where I want to put the garden. I did keep the garden here, but I actually ended up switching out the wood for it, so these boards change, but it's in the same area with the same size. After that, I wanted to hang up the shelves, so again, I grabbed some scrap pieces of wood I had, nailed a few together, and then attached them to the trees. I just wanted this to have a place to put some odd things that I had found in the woods, or art supplies, maybe some tools, a few plants, just stuff like that. The easel, shelves, and garden are all done. I still have to add so much stuff tomorrow, but those are all finishing details, the end bits and bobs of styling and putting things together. So that was the end of day 2. I'm going to quickly clean up my tools, and I will see you guys in the morning. After the shelves, I was able to find this split board also in my shed and just hung that up near the entrance so that I just had a place to lean some taller tools up against, throw an apron or a jacket if I came out in the morning and it got a bit warmer throughout the day. Basically just an entrance place to put my stuff. I was pretty undecided about the seating situation because I wanted some sort of area to relax and be able to read, and I was super lucky that my neighbors were getting rid of their old patio furniture and I was able to snag up some of the chairs, and then found a little round metal table around my house that I could use for a little side table, and that worked out so well. I'm so pleased with it. Some family friends actually came into town and the kids wanted to help a bit, so we painted the easel with some mud just so that it would blend in with the darker kind of weathered woods that I already had in the rest of the area, so that was fun. And then they also helped me swap out the garden and put in the new boards for it so I could use the other boards for kind of bordering the area a bit later, just so that it makes more sense for the different paths and zones. That day was also the day that I was able to find some matching slate kind of pieces that are around different parts of my yard behind my shed, and I was able to place those in the walkway, and I think it finished it off so nice. I'm absolutely in love with the entrance. I think it turned out so great. I still didn't have a workspace though, so at the end of the day I grabbed grabbed up the last scraps of wood that I had and kind of made a little standing desk up against a tree leaning thing. It doesn't really fit extremely well in the space, but it's very, very useful. I made some little projects at the end on it. I made a few little brooms and then also another chandelier from my fairycore video just because I thought it would look nice in the tree. And after everything was completely built and set in its place, all I had to do was add the finishing touches. I did a last raking as sweeping of the stones. I added plants here and there to kind of finish off the spaces, and it was done. I am genuinely so happy with this space. I know it's not a usual video that I do. It's a lot less tutorial style, but I still wanted to share the process with you guys because I do think I'll be using this space to film things. I just thought it was a really fun concept. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I do actually want to add more DIYs to this space, so my next video will kind of be in addition to this one, making more things for it. Again, kind of in my old style, but also for this space. I'm just really excited to have a new kind of zone to hang out in, be creative, make projects, film in it just so I could share it with you guys. I really hope you enjoyed it. I personally had a ton of fun with this project. Again, just really pleased with how it came out. Super excited to spend some time in here. Really just did have so much potential, and I'm glad I can use it now. So that was the little woods transformation I did for my little goblin hideout. I don't quite have an official name for it yet, but I'm so happy with the space nonetheless, and I will see you guys in the next one where we make some more DIYs and finish the space up.